What is up? Welcome to 2023. It has been a long time since I've made any kind of content that is extended like this, and any kind of video, any kind of podcast, anything. So we're starting 2023 off right. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about a handful of things. So we're going to be talking about a few of my own personal life updates. Why I haven't been posting anything? Why don't I do podcasts? Why don't I do YouTube? And then also going to be talking about just what's been going on the last couple of months with life. Going to be talking about my 2023 goals and breaking that down into my personal fitness goals, my own personal life goals, and then my coaching slash business goals and what I want to accomplish this year ahead. So super excited about that. And then also going to be talking about kind of just like content strategy and how I'm going to go about that. So some valuable things in there that I think could help you if you, one, are kind of looking to see how to set your own personal goals, kind of how I break it down for myself. And then also, if you are interested in kind of like the social media side of things, I'm going to be diving into that and kind of going over what that consists of. So super excited about that. I'm currently, first things first, I guess I should get into some life updates for me. I am currently back in Florida. I'm currently in my apartment in Florida, as you can see. So currently back here, I live in Fort Lauderdale. I was up in Philadelphia for around 2 to 3 months. A lot of reasons that I came back to Florida. Not going to dive into them, but super happy to be back. Philadelphia is a really cool city. A lot of history there, a lot of fun things to do there. And I honestly would love to go back and visit and will at some point. But there's a lot of reasons to be back down here. So excited to be here. It's been really nice to be back in this space. I'm from Ohio, but then lived in LA for about 2.5 years and then moved to Florida. And I feel like the most at home, as interesting as that sounds. Like Ohio always kind of has my heart, but I feel like Florida is like home to me. Like it feels homey, like all the different aspects and components of it. It's what I really enjoy. So back down here, as far as other life updates. So one of a video I posted or episode I posted a while ago, I was talking about doing my first like lean bulking phase for a while. I'd always been in this kind of like fat loss phase. And I was aiming to do a lean bulking phase. That was in like August of 2022. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks after that, like kind of in the early stages of aiming to put on more muscle size, I ended up pinching a nerve in my neck, and it was the most painful and excruciating thing I've ever dealt with in my entire life. So I think basically how it happened, it's kind of an extended story. So over last summer, I rode a roller coaster for the first time, and I did a little upside down thing, which is super amazing, cool experience. Happy I did it because it was always like a big fear of mine. So I'm happy I did that in life. But when I did that, like you're rocking back and forth, and I think I like kind of tweaked something in my neck. And so it was like an ongoing pain. It wasn't like over the top painful, but it was definitely something I felt on a regular basis. And then as I was like doing lifts and stuff like that, the pain in this area kind of kept getting worse and worse and worse. And finally got to a point, it was just like so sore, achy that I was like, I feel like I should probably go get a massage. So I went and got a deep tissue massage from this guy in Philly when I was living in Philly. And I went in the morning this day, and I only wanted to go for like 30, 45 minutes and just like work on my neck a little bit, also work on my back, work on my hamstrings. Wasn't trying to like hammer home that area. Anyway, this guy, no fault of his, he was like trying to provide a good service. Super cool guy, like super knowledgeable. But he ended up doing like an hour and a half massage and had me doing all these different like exercises like for my neck and like digging deep into different parts of my neck and really focused on that area. And so then by the time I left, I like literally felt like a newborn child. Like I feel like I like couldn't, I was like my neck and head was just like super wobbly. But on that day, I got the massage in the morning, and on that day, I had intended to do a leg day and do deadlifts that day. And so that's like a heavier day. You're picking up weight off the ground. You have to stabilize your back and your neck. Probably not the most safe thing to do after a deep tissue massage, especially when they're going all crazy on your neck and I already had a little like a little pinch right there, a little pain right there before the massage. So it wasn't the most ideal thing to go do a leg day, but your boy was stubborn, and I was like, yeah, I'll get it done. It'll be all right. I'd gotten a massage before and then lifted the next day. I know you're not supposed to do that. I'm an idiot. I did it. So did that. And then after I did the leg day, I got to the gym and it still just felt like very like stiff and just like weak. So when I left the gym, I only did a couple more exercises, and it felt kind of painful, but it wasn't like any like over the top crazy pain. But then I went to go get groceries right after the gym, and I literally carried like 4 bags of heavy groceries, like a half a mile in Philly. So it was like a long distance, and it was just like continuous like strain on that area. Again, not good. That night, it was still very painful, but it was more just like stiff and like weak. But then the next day, I should have just rested the whole weekend. Should have rested probably for like 3, 4, 5 days, and probably would have been fine. But then the next day, a guy that I met in Philly, we had talked about getting a workout in together and wanted to do like shoulders and arms. And I had told him that we could work out a couple weeks before, and then I ditched and bailed on him because I had something going on, something pop up, I couldn't go. So I was like, I can't bail on this guy again. So anyway, went to go do this workout with him, and literally the first exercise we did was dumbbell shoulder press, which again like puts pressure on your like neck and shoulder and everything. And literally like second heavy set we did, I just like felt something like I don't even know how to describe it. Like I was going up, and it literally felt like this side of my body just like gave out. It's like it spazzed out, tweaked, but I was like able to keep going because I was like took pre-workout. I was in the moment. I was like, yeah, I'll keep going, whatever. But it was like super crazy painful after that. So then later that night, later that day, it was just like in a lot of pain, a lot of pain, a lot of pain. And then all of a sudden I started feeling like pain going down like my entire arm. And so that was horrible. Long and the short of it is that for basically like 3 days, no matter how much ibuprofen, what any meds that I could take, the pain that I had was the most painful thing. Like I literally couldn't sleep. Like I literally like slept maybe an hour total for like 4 or 5 nights in a row. It was the most painful, agonizing thing I've ever experienced. Would not wish that on anyone. I know that sounds extreme, but if you had like a pinched nerve and like the pain is literally shooting down your entire limb, like the kind of pain that is. I would not wish it upon anyone. I was never expecting it to be like that. So with that, I literally like there's only so much you can do for a pinched nerve. Basically, like it's either from a muscle that like my understanding is like a muscle that it's from either like a slip disc, and because that slip disc or bulging disc is like pressing against the nerve, that's what causes the pain. Or if you like pull a muscle and the muscle like gets out of place, essentially, then it's gonna like be pinching against the nerve. So I don't know what specifically happened. I think it was like a pulled muscle in that area. And anyway, had the pinched nerve, and then with that, like I couldn't lift for like a week and a half. And so then when I actually did get back to lifting, I was like on this side of my body, I had already lost a lot of muscle in my back, in my arm, and I couldn't lift. I was lifting like a fifth of the weight I was doing before. Like for shoulder press, standing shoulder press, I could do like a literally 10 pounds when before I could do like 65 pounds. For bench press, I could do literally like 20 to 25 pounds when before I could do 110 pounds for reps. Lat pull downs, I still can't do pull-ups. Like this part of my body, it's been 4 or 5 months, and I still like that motion. It's still like I'm still building back up like the strength and like movement there. Before I could do sets of 12, 15, 20 pull-ups in a row. So it's been honestly probably the most like detrimental injury to my like lifting fitness career. But it also made me really appreciate like being healthy and like getting stronger and being able to work out injury free on a regular basis. I've never really had an injury like that where I literally like couldn't do anything for a week and a half. Like it was probably like a full month before I could really like lift heavy again, relatively heavy again. And even still, it's like been just a gradual process kind of working it back. So that's kind of been a downer. And for me, whenever I can't have time to work out, that impacts my mental health for sure. When your body isn't looking as good as it once was, that impacts your mental health. When you don't have that time for yourself to get workouts in, that impacts your mental health. So it was a really tough like 2, 3 month period of time just with the pinched nerve side of things. Like again, I had never experienced something like that with me, my business, everything I do being so based around the fitness things. Like if I can't do that, I almost feel like a little bit sense of my like self-worth is like gone, as extreme as that sounds. But like fitness is my entire life. Like it's literally, what I do have done day in and day out for the last 10, 11 years, what I post about every single day. So it was like really, really tough on me. So it's been a process kind of recovering from that, both physically and mentally, and like finally back now to a place where I've been getting in workouts consistently. There's some times where it's a little achy still. Like I did like heavy RDLs yesterday. I did like 120-pound RDLs and like got to pick them up and do like a deadlift motion. And then I did barbell back squats before that. So like the bar is resting right here. Did 315 with that. So like strength with leg stuff is, all things considered, in a really good spot. But it still just like causes some pain and discomfort at times. So I'm intrigued and looking to keep like getting more and more healthy and looking to kind of build strength back up. So overall in a good place right now though. So happy about that. The other thing, the last couple of months, as I'm sure a lot of people have been doing, it's been like nonstop traveling for the holidays. It's been from like, so Thanksgiving time, like around that time, it was going back to Ohio for my dad's birthday. That was a lot of fun. Surprised him for that. And then I came back to Florida, celebrated Thanksgiving with friends, had like that weekend where I was going out because it was like Ohio State Michigan game. And then there's another event that I got invited to in Miami. So I went out for all that. And then it was just like a cycle of every single weekend was like going out there and it's an event, a birthday, holiday, stuff like that. And then I traveled back home to Ohio for Christmas. And was out seeing family, was out seeing friends, was out for my own personal birthday, and then got back to Florida, was out again because it was the end of the year. It was New Year celebrations. It was people were in town visiting. My mom came to visit. My friends' parents were in town visiting. So the last like month and a half has been just like this constant cycle almost of like, it's been fun. Like it was been some of the most fun I've had in a long, arguably ever. But the last like month and a half has been just a lot to kind of balance everything out, which I wouldn't necessarily trade it for anything. Like it was again like a phenomenal time. But it's definitely been a challenge with that. So that's been good. That's been fun. But I think a lot of people are in that same boat. So I'm not special by any means with that. And then the last thing is that, which I'm super excited about, is like during this time, just with like the fitness side of things and business side of things, in September, I launched something that I had never launched before. I've always done one-on-one fitness coaching, online fitness coaching for the last 4 or 5 years. That has always been my main thing. But I've always wanted to do some kind of like group approach, some kind of like challenge group approach, something like that, because with the nature of what I do with the one-on-one clients is it's only so like scalable. Like I can't work with infinite amount of people on a one-on-one basis because I don't have the time. I don't have the mental capacity. It's tough to do that. And I want to be able to provide something for people that it's a lower costing thing. Because the one-on-one coaching, I was charging like the mid 200s, and then now I'm charging 300 a month for it. So it's an investment in yourself for sure. And so I wanted to provide something where it's a lower cost point that allows people to still make a lot of progress with their fitness goals and a lot of other different aspects to that. So what I did is I had an 8-week fat loss challenge, 8-week pre-holiday fat loss challenge. So I launched that in September. A lot of people signed up for it. It was fantastic. A lot of people saw a lot of progress. And then what I've wanted to do this and launch this for 2-3 years is launch more of like a group coaching program as well. So basically, it provides a lot of similarities to my one-on-one coaching. So the group coaching program that I did launch after the 8-week challenge, I launched it around Thanksgiving. It's called Realistic Gains. So basically the meaning of that is wanting to approach fitness goals in a realistic way, wanting to still be able to go travel and make progress with goals, wanting to be able to go out with friends, make progress with goals, wanting to just be able to have a quality, good relationship with any and all kinds of foods and still make progress with goals. So within the program, we focus on these main things that lead to progress, both building muscle and or losing body fat. I think a lot of times people aren't really sure what to do to focus on to make progress with their body. They're not sure what to do. They're not sure how to structure a workout program. They're not sure with nutrition, like what the main things they should focus on are, especially because there's so much just BS in the fitness and nutrition space as far as like, what's the best way to lose fat, or like, what's the best workout to tone up, like all this different stuff. And in reality, the main kind of 3, 4 things are: one, wanting to get in strength training. And this is like, no matter the age, no matter the gender, in order to lose body fat, look, feel your best, there's a few things, no matter who you are, you want to focus on. Obviously, every single person has different things going on in their life. Their genetics are different. Some people put on muscle a lot easier and they don't need to lift quite as much. Other people, it's really tough. They have a really, really, really fast metabolism. They're going to have to eat more food in order to like build some muscle and like look how they want. But overall, the main things are some strength training, some lifting, and having like a set program in place with that. So that's what we focus on. Still working cardio into the mix, and we have goals based on that within the program. And then being in a calorie deficit if you're trying to lose fat, or being in like a slight surplus if you're trying to build muscle, we focus on that. And then getting in enough protein. And if you're doing those things, then you're going to make a ton of progress. So within the program, that's what we focus on, is making it fun and enjoyable. And we have different aspects of it within this group coaching program, where we have new recipes every month. We have a new workout program every month. We have lives every single week where I go in and answer questions. And then we also have like mini check-ins with people in the group. And then also we talk about and like coach people through how to make progress and what the next steps are, and talk about mindset in these different situations. So it's a lot of similar things that we would cover in the one-on-one coaching that I do. But with this approach, there's many different people that are in the group. There's around 300 people in the group right now. And we're able to, make these programs, and the workout programs are also pretty customized based on the person. So we have every single month, we have programs based on if it's a men's or women's program. The men's is going to be more, it's going to be more like upper body focused, just because stereotypically it's how it goes. Women's are going to be a little bit more lower body focused. Stereotypically, it's how it goes. You pick between then a 3 or 4 day program. So just kind of depending on your schedule. If you're newer to the gym, just you pick whichever one works best, and that program's tailored towards that. And then the last thing you determine is, are you going to work out in the gym, or are you going to work out at home? So I think a lot of people feel like they can't make as much progress when they're working out at home compared to a gym. But the way we have it structured is that as long as you have a pair of dumbbells, then you can make a ton of progress still. So I've had a lot of one-on-one clients, a lot of people in these different groups that have made a ton of progress changing their body, just, with home lifting workouts and focusing on these main other things. So that's how we structure it. So it's very, very similar to how I go about one-on-one. It's just not as in depth, in me not talking to every single person individually every single week. People post, and we have a Facebook group where the community within the Real Estate Gains community is like super, super active. And I think that is one of the most valuable parts about it as well, is because, people that you're in this group with are posting about their workout. They're talking about them traveling, getting a workout in while they're traveling. They're talking about, them hitting their nutrition goals. They're sharing meals they have. And you kind of build these relationships with these people within this, community within the Facebook group. And it kind of pushes you, because it's like my internet friends are pushing themselves and getting in their workouts and making a lot of progress. I need to kind of follow suit and do the same thing. So that's a really cool aspect about it. And then I'm gonna talk about this as I get into my 2023 goals. But I have like another coach in the group. I have another like a community manager, Erica, and Jason's one of the assistant coaches right now, one of the coaches in the group. And then I'm actually having another coach get started this week ahead. So gradually building up the program and the coaches within the program to help people make as much progress as possible. So really excited about that. Again, launched that in November. So it's been going for about 6-7 weeks right now. So that's been really great, and continuing to work on that. And again, that's something we'll talk about in 2023 goals. But yeah, it's currently early January 2023. It's insane. It's already 2023 and we're already in January. I feel like time flies. I remember literally this time last year, 2022. And 2022 was a great year for me in a lot of ways. I learned a lot, business grew a lot, brand grew a lot. Had a lot of really good experiences. But in this episode, the rest of it, we're going to talk about my goals for 2023. So that's the life updates with me, kind of getting started and getting back into the groove with things. But for me, 2023 goals, let's dive into it. We're going to talk about 3 different categories of this. We're going to talk about personal goals. We're going to talk about fitness goals. And we're going to talk about coaching, my fitness coaching / business goals. So we'll start with the personal side of things. So first things first, the number one thing is that I want to visit family and friends more in Ohio. So I'm originally from Ohio. I lived there for the first 24 years of life, and then I moved to Los Angeles in February of 2019. And I was in LA for 2.5 years. I went back to Ohio, I think once per year the whole time I was there. When you're living in LA compared to Ohio or anywhere on the East Coast, it's legit like living in a different country. It's like the 4 hour trip there, and it's nice when you're going because when you get to LA, it's that 3 hour time difference, so it's really only like you like a loss. It's only like an hour trip, but then when you come back, it is literally a full day trip because you lose the 3 hours, and it's a 4 hour flight, and then you got to drive to the airport, drive home, so it's literally a full day of travel. So it's a lot. So I didn't really go home that often. One, because of how far it was, and then two, I was just very early on in my business with my fitness business, my coaching, my social media stuff. It was like not a one, it was not a feasible thing. Like it would not be fiscally responsible, financially responsible to be going back home all the time. And then two, I mean, the real main reason I wanted to move to LA and just move in general was to like build myself and like learn more about myself and build my business. In LA, that was the main focus. So when I was in LA, a lot of my time was spent just on my own. It was spent working on social media. It was spent working on growing my business, working on coaching people. I didn't have that much balance. Like even when I was in LA, it was like a lot of like getting up, working out, going. I worked out of a WeWork in Hollywood, and I would be at the WeWork in Hollywood, no exaggeration, from like 8 a.m. every day until 8:30, 9 p.m., sometimes later. And that was my life. I made videos on social media. I was learning how to during that time too, like that's kind of when I found my voice on social media. Like before, I think a lot of people that follow me now know me as someone that's very like talkative, high energy, passionate about what I do, like good vibe. But when I first started, like I had that in my personal life, depending on the person I was talking to. Like I'd be outgoing, energetic, positive, all that kind of stuff. But then on social media, the first like year or so I was posting, I didn't bring that side of my personality over to it. I was just very like probably just like stoic, and or I just wasn't like talking that much in videos. It was more of like me showing how to do workouts, and it was me making like infographics about how to help. It was a lot of the same information I talk about now. It just like wasn't me showing my personality. And then once I randomly decided to get on TikTok in 2019 when I was living in LA, and like just made a video talk, like showing my face, talking about like a specific topic, and it did really well. And I was like, all right, maybe I'm like onto something here. It kind of grew from there. So anyway, long and the short of that is that I spent a lot of my time while I was in LA solely focusing on business, focusing on work. And then I moved to Florida, and same kind of thing, but it was more like I had taken 2, 3 years to build my business in LA. And I got to Florida, and for about a year, I kind of stayed around the same spot with business. I didn't grow a ton on social media. This was 2021. Didn't grow a ton on social media. Wasn't like overly intentional and like focused with it. And I think a big part of that was like I hadn't really like had a ton of like fun when I was in LA. I'd spent 2, 3 years like really building my business up, but never didn't go out that often. Wasn't going and traveling that much. So once I got to Florida, that's a lot of what it was. Like where I moved to in Florida, it's right where like a lot of bars and restaurants are. I had a lot of really like great friends that also moved down here around that same time. So I was going out with them on a regular basis. I was like in a new city. I was trying to enjoy my time. So I was going out a lot in 2021, and like wasn't I was still focused on business and like posting on social media every day. Worked with one-on-one coaching clients, was building that up, but I wasn't as intentional and focused with it as I could have been, and as I know now how to go about it. So it was a lot of that. And then in 2022, I was like, again, back to being very, very focused and locked in with social media and with business stuff. But then also still going out a good amount. But I just the long and the short of all this is that like I've never really had a time where I've prioritized going back home and like visiting family as much, kind of towards the latter part of this year. From like I guess like November on, it's been like one of the first times where I feel like good because I've gone back and seen family like once a month. So again, that's one of my main personal goals this year. Long and the short of all that is that I want to go back and be able to spend time with family. I'm thinking I want to go back to Ohio like at least 4 to 5 times in 2023. I think the most before I'd ever gone back is maybe 3 times. And even then, it was like when I was there, I was very, very focused still on work, and it wasn't quite as much time to like just enjoy the moment with family, with friends. So that's one of my main goals this year is like build, be intentional. We're going to get into another kind of goal, but that's one of them is like kind of being intentional with my time and aiming to have more balance so that when I go back and do these things, I can actually like fully enjoy it and not be like having work be in business, be this main thing I'm thinking about at all times. I love work and love business and I love what I do. And I'm super thankful for all of it. And it's still going to be a huge priority, but I want to be able to have like some separation there and think and focus on like family time. So that's one of the main personal goals. Well, that's 1 and 2. So I visit Ohio and my family and be more present with family and friends when I'm with them. The third personal goal that I'm extremely excited about that I've already booked is taking a trip to Italy. I was supposed to go to Italy in like 2017, 2018, the summer of that summer. And then I started my fitness coaching business, didn't have as much money, wanted to put more time into the business, didn't want to travel during that time. So I didn't end up going. And then I hadn't been out of the country at all. Always wanted to go there. I'm actually 1/8 Sicilian, so like the island in Italy. I'm 1/8 Sicilian, and just whenever I think of Europe, I think of all the amazing places in Italy. I think of like the Amalfi Coast. I think of Rome. I think of Florence. I think of Milan. I think of going to Sicily. I think of Italy. Like I think of Venice. Like Venice and the Venice canals are like one of the things since I was a kid. I don't know why, but like I saw it somewhere and I was like, I have to do that. I have to do that. So this year I'm going to Italy. So I booked my trip to go in May. And it's something where I'm literally I didn't get a return ticket. My business and everything I do is all remote. As long as I have Wi-Fi, I can still do client work. I can still post on social media. I can still do everything I need to do. It's going to be tough to find a gym there and get all that stuff figured out, but we're going to make it happen. And that's going to be the fun of it. But I'm thinking I'm going to stay for like 30 to 45 days and explore Northern Italy, Southern Italy, Rome, all these places, go to Sicily, and like fully enjoy it. Like that's been one of my personal goals for the longest time. And I saw like Drake, the rapper Drake. He posted something on his Instagram story. This is maybe a week or two ago, and it said something along the lines of so it was basically like people like spend their whole entire life without ever taking a risk or without actually like living their life. Like never, it was something along the lines of like never been on a plane, never been out the country, never taken a risk, something like that. And I was like, damn, I need to do that. I need to like actually like I'm very happy with life and everything that I've done, accomplished so far, experiences I have. But I was like, Italy is one thing. Like knock on wood, if something would happen to me, I would be like, if I, pass away or anything like that, I would be so sad if I didn't get a chance to go to Italy. Like that's one of the main things in life that I like desperately want to do. So I'm super excited and happy about that. Going to be posting a lot of content there and about it, and super pumped about that. Kind of along the same lines as what I just said about just having more life experiences. I want to say yes to more things in 2023. I feel like this is just like people in general. I feel like we get into our own groove and routine, and we have these different things that kind of hold us back from having new experiences and opportunities in life. Whether it be like you don't want to be in your groove and routine, you don't want to mess up fitness goals, like just whatever it is. I think and just like the own fear of like it being an uncomfortable and new situation, we don't try and do new things. And so my big goal for 2023 is like say yes to as many things as possible. Like if it's meeting a new group of people, it's meeting a new friend, if it's going out to a dinner or a date or something with someone, like trying new things. If I meet someone in Italy, obviously you want to be safe when doing all these things. And you kind of got to read the situation as best as you can, but trying to say yes to as many things as possible is one of my big goals for this year. Obviously, again, want to get work done. That's going to be a priority. But wanting to try to like make time to give myself an opportunity to say yes and get more life experiences instead of, not that I feel like I'm a pretty like outgoing person and open to any and all new experiences. But want to like ramp it up, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just be like if someone suggests I'd go like when I'm in Italy, if someone suggests like a certain place, like being open to trying that and open to doing and trying new things. Number five, the last part of the personal side of things is having more balance within my life in general. Again, the last like 4 or 5 years has been so much like work, business, and I think it's almost just like being more intentional with my personal life and just like with my time. This is going to be another goal that I talk about in the coaching side of things and business side of things, and they go together. These two things kind of go together, but being more intentional with my time when I'm getting to get work done, to get get social media posts done, to get check-ins done with clients, to get stuff done for real estate gains, to get stuff just done in general, so that then I have more time to be more focused on my friends and family, to be more focused on my own personal life, and even if it's like watching a show on Netflix or going for a walk, like things that help my mental health, working in like the dating side of things into my life. Like I feel like that's one thing I've done poorly, is not having good balance, and that negatively impacts other aspects of life. So working on having more balance and like incorporating those things into my life, and not like waiting until I'm in the situation and being like, oh shit, I'm not balanced at all and I need to work on this. So actively working on that right now, and not just like hoping on a whim that it's going to get better. Like I have to do the work to have more balance, and I need to actively practice that right now. So that's going to be another main focus for this year. Personal fitness goals. This is pretty quick, honestly, just with the nature of like what my personal life goals are, as far as like being more present with family, friends, traveling a good amount, and then also my business and coaching goals. My own personal fitness goals, like I the two main things I want to focus on are, one, getting a six pack, getting my abs popping again. I definitely gained some body fat like through the holidays, and also when I had my injury. So that's one thing I want to get back to. And not that I'm like pressed on having a six pack, that's the most important thing in life, but it's more so like the actions that lead to it, and like how I feel when I'm like my abs and I'm leaner and I look good. I feel like I look good. It puts me in a place where I like feel more confident in myself, because I'm like, all right, I talk about all these things on social media. If I follow through and do it, and I'm looking like how I know I can and should look, it makes me feel better about what I do with business. It makes me feel better in my interactions with people. And like if you like how you look, like if you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, like I feel good about myself, and like what I'm seeing, and like the work that goes into getting to that point, you're going to carry yourself in a more positive manner, and then that's going to positively impact how you interact with others, both friends, family, relationships, people that you meet, how you go about business, how you go about work. So that's one of my main things, and I want to be able to do that while I'm also like traveling and doing these different things to show that it is possible. Obviously, like in Italy, I think that's the main time when it's like I'm gonna, obviously there's amazing food there, there's wine, there's all this stuff, so it's gonna be something that's gonna be tough to do there. But I think also with like the amount of walking that I'm gonna be doing, still getting in lists, and even like trying to implement and incorporate some of the stuff that I talk about, I'm not gonna be tracking calories there, but I'll be focusing on getting more protein, focusing on like getting some veggies in. But I'm gonna be drinking on a regular basis, I'm gonna be having pasta on a regular basis, so I think it'll be like kind of a fun challenge for me. But overall, like wanting to get leaner and like maintain that through the year. I don't have any like bulking muscle building goals this year. I want to like rebuild some muscle that I lost, but honestly, it's not a huge focus. Um, I'm still going to be working out, 4 to 6 days per week. Want to start getting back into like running a little bit more. Want to try out some different like workout kind of styles classes, whether it be like yoga or different classes like that, because I just think it's like nice and fun to kind of mix things up a little bit. But the main basis is still going to be, lifting, because that's what helps make the most progress, maintain progress. And that's what I also enjoy too. So going to do that. And then within the lifting side of things, the other kind of main goal is going to be to squat 315 for 3 sets of 10 reps. So I did 315 for 3 sets of 6 reps yesterday. So not too far off from it. But that's going to be another kind of main focus for me, just like a strength-based kind of goal to do, and then be able to kind of maintain that over the long haul. So fitness goals are honestly pretty abbreviated and nothing like over the top too crazy. It's mostly just like getting in a little bit better shape than I am right now, and maintaining that while living my life and building my business. Last one, and then we'll wrap it up a little bit. But last one right here. This section will be a little bit longer though, so we'll dive into this. So it's going to be the coaching and business side of things. I have notes right here that I keep referring to and looking at. So that's what you're seeing me looking over at. So this is going to consist of like social media, and then also like coaching people, and then also like the realistic gains group. So these are in no particular order. It's just like when I was thinking about the goals for the year and when I was writing the notes down for this is how I just got wrote down. So the number one is that I want to have 100 or not I want to have 1 million total subscribers, followers on all social media. So basically between Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, I want to have 1 million people that are following me. So right now, I'm currently at 143,000 on Instagram, 366,000 on TikTok, 8,000 on YouTube, and it's a total of around 517,000 people, which is crazy to think about, especially because when I started posting content consistently and like kind of got some traction, it was in 2020, is like beginning of 2020 until now. So the last 2 years, like beginning of 2020, I had 10,000 followers on TikTok. I started posting there. I had like 5,000 on Instagram and had like 500 on YouTube. So it was about 15,000 people. And the fact that in 2 years it's grown to where it's at now is crazy. And then even in the last year, at the end of 2021, I was at 230,000 total audience between TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And then this past year, for it to more than double to get to over 500,000 people is insane. So the goal this year is to get above 1 million total followers. So that's be, I don't know, that's 100,000 on YouTube, 600,000 on TikTok, and 300,000 on Instagram. However it breaks up, that's going to be the goal. And the cool part about social media is literally all it takes is one video to pop off, go viral, and you grow your page a lot. For me, a big part of it has been like being consistent, posting every single day. And some videos go crazy, some don't do anything at all. Like some they just don't hit as well. People don't relate to it as well. But all it takes is one video. So like I could be posting halfway through the year. I have a video get 10 million views and I gain 150,000 followers. Like that's the crazy part about social media. So the plan for this and for social media, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be posting 3 to 5 TikToks and Instagram posts, reels per day. And basically going to be looking at, like, have a game plan of how I want to go about it. Going to be posting a workout video, a nutrition video, a video talking about just like a general topic or like about my own personal life, so people can kind of connect with me. Going to be having fun food every single day while still like losing fat, maintaining, making progress. So I think that'll be a really fun thing to do and incorporate as well. So then the other thing to kind of keep in mind as you're making content is you want to see how videos are doing. So making content similar to the videos that are doing well. So that's going to be the focus too. It's making 3 to 5 videos per day and posting them per day, but it's also like taking a step back, like every couple of weeks, looking at what videos are doing really well, looking around to see what other videos in the fitness space, in whatever kind of space you're in, and seeing what videos are doing well with that. So that's going to be the focus with that. I think the other thing too is like, especially with fitness, you want to provide as much value as possible. Like if you can help someone like just by them looking at your content, then they're going to be more inclined to want to follow you. And like it helps, from the social media side of things, that helps a lot. And then two, like if you help someone, like if someone helps me with something, I'm going to want to go back to them for more help. So I think that's a big thing too, is like providing as much value as possible in the videos. And honestly, like my main goal with social media is to help people. It's to help people with their fitness goals and do it in a realistic way so that people can enjoy their life. And I would hope and imagine that through my content, you can see that I am like very passionate about what I do. And also like understand that life is not just all about fitness, and there needs to be some balance there. And I think that's what's helped me to get to the point I am now, both with like social media side of things, business side of things, and being able to help people. Like that's ultimately the main goal. It's why I first got on social media. That's what I'm doing it for now. I want to help people make progress. And obviously you got to, sometimes play the games with social media to get more, more views on the post, or to have it, people kind of understand or draw them into it, and then help them in the way that I think is best for people. So that's kind of the intention there. Provide as much value as I can. The other kind of newer things that I'll be doing, and this is part of it right now, other newer things to grow on social media are going to be, one, doing my podcast and making it into a YouTube video as well. So I'm going to be recording all of them on Zoom, and then I'm going to be posting it. I'm going to be doing one personal video every single week. So that's going to be just me talking about, it's going to be probably 70% of the time a specific fitness topic. So like what a calorie deficit is, what areas to focus on to lose fat, like stuff like that, where it's like a specific topic. But then the other podcast episodes like this I'm going to be doing are talking about something that might be a little bit more personal. Like maybe it's like how I got a brand deal, how I got my brand deal with Legion, or how I built my coaching business, or how to go about doing online coaching, or like what I invest in as a content creator and fitness coach. So some of those other kind of more personal things I think could be helpful for people, and just give you a better idea of me and kind of what it consists of when you're kind of in that position. So I think that'll be fun. And then the other episode I'm gonna be doing that I'm gonna be putting as a podcast and on YouTube is going to be an interview with someone else in the fitness space. So I think this is fun to get different perspective from different people that are, doing well, that are content creators, that have made a lot of progress with their fitness goals, and being able to interview them and like get their background and just like learn more about them. I'm a very people person. Like I enjoy people and talking to people. And so I think it'll be fun to do that. I've already recorded a couple episodes. So you'll be seeing that. It's going to be every Thursday. I'm going to be posting those. So that'll be really fun. I think it's good for people to get that perspective from different people, and like have those individuals share their story of like how they got to this point with social media, with their body, with their relationship with food, and also making it more fun. Like these interviews I'm going to be doing, I've done a couple of them already, and having some like fun aspects to it as well. So it's not just like very dry, cut and paste, normal, typical questions you hear in a podcast. I want to make it enjoyable and fun. So that's the intention there. And I think, obviously when you kind of cross-pollinate audiences as well, then now people know who I am, people in my community know who these people are. So it's kind of mutually beneficial in that way. So going to be doing that. The other thing is going to be posting YouTube shorts. So I think every social media platform is kind of trending towards that like TikTok style video, where it's these quick videos going over information. It's interesting because I think it's like a mix of that. It's like people either want these like very quick, short pieces of information, or they want to consume like a podcast style thing. So that's kind of why I'm doing kind of best of both, or attempting to do best of both. And that's the goal for this year. So going to be doing that side of it. So podcast, 2 episodes a week, podcast / YouTube 2 times a week, and then I'll be posting a lot of YouTube shorts with helpful fitness content. And then the goal is to also be on Twitter and be more active on Twitter a little bit more, because I feel like I have some funny, good things to say, and like I think if I can convert some of like the stuff I talk about like on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube into like a Twitter format where it's typed out, stuff like that, put a little bit more time into that, I think that would be fun to do as well. So that's kind of the game plan with it. Want to build up social media side of things, and that's kind of how I'm intending to do it. Number 2, so this is kind of where like the business side of things, fitness side of things kind of comes into play. So the goal for me is to build Realistic Gains, my group coaching program, to have 1,000 or more people in the group by the end of the year. So again, right now it's at 300 people. And first, before I dive into that, like my main goal is to help those 300 people as best and as much as possible. If anyone, as people ask questions and, we're going over, the new workout programs, the nutrition goals, like my main goal is to help the people that are currently in the group make the most progress. And same thing with my one-on-one clients. Like if someone works with me, is working with me, like my main mission and goal is to build a quality relationship with them, in a coaching setting, and help them make as much progress and be there for them. And that's the same thing with the Realistic Gain side of things, is to provide as much value, help them as much as possible, get feedback on like how they like the program, how, their progress, how it's going, what they like, and then be able to keep iterating the Realistic Gains program so that it gets better and better and better, and it's a better community, better program, helps more people make more progress. So the goal is to keep building up the group and the program, but it's the way you do that is by making it like helping people as much as possible so that they want to join and they want to stay for the long haul. And then, be able to have, when that happens, then it's like they tell other people about the program. And then as I kind of work on the business as a whole, and that's something I'll talk about in a second, kind of plan for that, that's where the business continues to grow when I'm providing as much value, continuing to iterate it to make it the best. And then that's when on me, right now it's something I'm working on and actually just did is bringing other coaches into the program, because obviously I only have so much time to answer questions, be there, do all these different things. So I need coaches that also will do a good job, know their stuff with fitness, are very good with people, to be able to help, as best and as much as possible in a realistic way. So that's one of the next steps to make it better, is have more coaches that are helping. It's also kind of working with content creators as well, and maybe having them in for like a live session, or maybe they provide some kind of program for the month for the people in the group. So continuing to provide new kind of innovative ways to help people is kind of my goal. And so one thing I do right now is I partnered with Calvin, Cook Like I'm Book, one of my good friends in the fitness space. He does an awesome job at the high protein, lower calorie recipes. So every single month he sends over 5 different recipes. And we have just an ongoing tab within the members only section of Realistic Gains that people can go in, get the different recipes, and can focus in on that. So that's one of the main things that I want to keep working on as well, is like continuing to innovate, make it better, make it a better experience for people, help them as much as possible, make it entertaining, fun, and get a lot out of it. Another thing I'm gonna be doing is having a live meetup for the group sometime in 2023. So probably gonna start planning it in like April-ish and get an idea of like where most of the people live. Maybe probably March, so people have a little bit more time to plan, and then have like an actual live meetup where we can meet everyone. And you're talking to these people on the internet on a regular basis, like in the Facebook group, and seeing what they're doing, and you kind of get to know them. But I think that's the coolest part, is like bringing people together through that and with that. So I want it to be like a legit community where people know, like, our friends, all that kind of stuff, and push each other in the best way. So that's kind of the game plan with it. Also with that, like, going to be starting like the social media accounts for Realistic Gains, Instagram, TikTok, so that we can post more about like what's going on in the group, what it consists of. Also still provide like helpful information with the fitness side of things to help people make progress, but wanting to, again, kind of build that community. And again, the biggest thing is to help as much as possible. I know I said that with social media, said it with my coaching, but like that's the main goal with all of this. I think in the fitness space, you can tell, for the most part, you can tell relatively quickly like who is in it for the right reasons. I think as you are, if you are in business for yourself and you're an entrepreneur, you want it to keep growing. And that's also like kind of the fun of it, is like growing your business, growing your brand. But the main way you grow a business is probably providing value, giving, providing, helping a lot more than you are like taking or trying to take from people. And that's always been my approach to it. And definitely the continued goal with it is to try to help as much as possible. And then the last one, as it relates to social media business, is again just being more intentional with my time, both for myself and then with my team. So I have an assistant coach right now. We have a community manager within Realistic Gains, and then hiring another coach as well to help out. So I think like being like upfront about expectations with people, and then being able to like, so for me, I feel like I'm like nice to a fault sometimes. Like I can be a little bit nice to a fault depending on the setting. And so I think like being direct, clear about what's expected, and then having like a communication about like what areas need to improve. And it's not a bad thing if someone has to improve, or you want them to work on something. Because I think we're all very capable of making improvements as people, and continuing to get better in different ways. So that's like something I know I need to work on as a leader, manager, leader of people, in a sense. Is like, if I want them to help people with their fitness goals in a way that I feel like is best, one, I got to lay clear expectations, be more intentional about that. But then also another part of that is being okay with like people having freedom and autonomy to do things like the way they see fit based on the parameters and guidelines that I kind of give them, if that makes sense. So I think that's kind of my goal, and that's an ongoing kind of journey and process. as I'm kind of building my business and working with more people within my own team, is like kind of letting go of control, but also in a way where like I feel comfortable with it and having communication conversation about what areas I feel like could improve. So have had people that have worked with me for me in the past, and it's like always a challenge because I think when you first hire someone, you don't know what to expect. You still like feel like you want to have control over a lot of different parts of work and business and stuff like that, and want your hands on everything, which is a good and bad thing in my opinion. So I think it's just an ongoing kind of journey and something I'm going to keep working on. But I think kind of the big thing with my own personal life and then business is like being intentional with how I go about it. Being intentional and laying like clear expectations and having like clear boundaries of like what to do, what to focus on, what I'm be doing with my time, that side of things. So with that being said, that's what I'm focusing on in 2023. Let me know, leave a comment, like the video, the podcast, subscribe, and comment. Let me know your thoughts on all of that. Comment and let me know how I can help in any way. Leave a comment with your goals, and I'm excited for everything that is going to be coming in 2023. Going to be doing one of these episodes once per week where it's just me, and then going to be doing an episode once per week where it's with the guest. So really, really pumped about that. Yeah, and with that being said, we will wrap it up. If you're interested in making progress with your fitness goals in a realistic way, check out www.realisticgains.com. And if you want to follow me on social media, if you found me on YouTube or podcast, TikTok and Instagram is GainsByPat. With that being said, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and much love. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace and blessings.